is the Bailey Pegasus 462. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. In front of the van you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker you have your gas bottle with gas open and gas closed on the valve on top. Open is on and gas closed is off. You then got your reverse thread fitment that goes into the front of the bottle, so you need to turn that pipe work the opposite way to a standard fitment to release the gas pipe work. You then got your regulator on the bulkhead, and you've got two tie downs for two 6 kilogram propane gas bottles, and that is the maximum you can carry on board the caravan at any point. Coming down the side of the van, you've got your wind down leg on either side of the front to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. You just use these legs to level the van. You would not use them to lift the caravan, as if you did it could potentially damage the floor of the van itself. Then got storage lockers on either side at the front of the caravan. In here you've got your onboard water tank, so you can actually take this out and fill this up manually through the hole on top there, and I'll show you how to operate that once we go inside the caravan. So you can actually manually fill that the same as you would the aqua roll just down here. We then come to our heating and hot water flow. The cover on the side of the van has to be removed before you ignite anything on gas inside of the caravan. If you try to ignite it with the cover on, it could simply not ignite, or it could potentially blow that cover off. You've then got your pickup pipe that drops down inside your aqua roll, and you've got your water pump connection that pushes into the side of the van down here. Like I said, the pickup pipe has to go inside the barrel and right down in the bottom of the barrel, so it picks up water from the barrel itself. The wheel nuts and mover will demonstrate the motor mover to you in person here on site, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts prior to the caravan leaving, so you can see they've been tightened correctly. Coming further down the side of the van, you've got your two fridge vents. Two fridge vents are very simply there to allow hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. Then on the top right hand side you'll also have a gas flue for when the fridge is running on gas. Going further down the side of the van, you have your toilet flush tank. You'll open this up and you'll put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. And at the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette, which you release by pulling up the orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out 90 degrees, so you can tip the waste away. And on the back of the cassette you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away it doesn't spin and splatter back at you. You'll need to put 1 litre of water in there and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. Coming to the back of the caravan, on either side of the rear you'll see two wind down legs to stabilise the van. Again, you would not lift the caravan with these, it could potentially damage the floor, but they are just there for stabilising. Coming down the door side, you've got your battery locker with your 110 amp leisure battery in there, your mains power lead coming into the side of the van from the power on site, and you've also got your motor mover power switch in the back of that locker as well. You've then got your 3-pin socket to allow power out to your awning, and then you've got your barbecue gas point at the front down the side here. Push the connection in and turn it 90 degrees so you can use gas out to your barbecue, and then you've got the last of the storage lockers on the outside. Coming on to the inside of the caravan now. As you come inside the caravan, on the left hand side as you come in, you've got your master power switch for all the 12 volt and 240 power. You've got your internal lights, your awning light for the outside of the caravan, and your water pump run. I'll show you this in a moment when I come back over to it and we show you how to fill the water system. Just going to show you the 240 trip switches, which are down on the left hand side, so where you can see the heater. Just underneath the seat on the left hand side is where you'll find these. There is also 12 volt fuses for the 12 volt operations on board the van, and next to that, like I said, you have your 240 trip switches. If you're ever not sure, if you're ever concerned that you haven't got power coming to the caravan, if you hit the test switch just here and the little blue switch drops down, it means you have mains power coming into the caravan. If that switch stays up, it means there is no 240 mains coming into the caravan from the site you are on. First thing you're going to need to do when you come inside the caravan is open all the turn your power on, obviously above the door, and make sure you've got the power on the RCDs. Open all your taps up on the hot side of the water system. As you can see, I've already bled the water system. However, what we're going to do is we're going to come underneath the seat on the right hand side, just next to the sink, and we're going to need to make sure the yellow valve is flat with the floor as it is at the moment. If that valve is flat with the floor, it means you're able to fill the water system up. Now you'll see another blue tap just down the side here, or this tap just here. To fill the water system up from the aqua roll on the outside directly to the hot water tank, you're going to need this blue valve pointing in towards the inside of the caravan. If you want to run the caravan from the water storage tank that I showed you on the outside, you're going to need to spin this valve right round to the opposite side, and that will allow the water to come from the onboard water storage tank rather than the aqua roll. However, you fill it in the same way, so all the taps open, whether you have that tap pointing towards the outside of the caravan or the inside. Once that valve's in the position where you want it to be, and all the taps are open on the hot side, you'll come over to the control panel by the door and turn on the water pump. To start with, the water system is going to glug, spit and splatter because it's going to have air in the system, but once all the air's out of the system, you'll have water running continuously out of every tap on board the caravan, and once you're at that point you can shut all of the taps back off. Once that water system is full, you can start thinking about warming the water on gas or electric. So like I said, you need to make sure water is coming out of every tap continuously prior to turning off the taps. At that point, you can come over to the control panel, just here on the wall. And the bottom switch that you see is your electric water heating. This is your 230 volt water heater. So as you can see, 230 volt. And you need to turn it on by pressing the switch down. That will only work when you are on a mains powered site. It will not work off the 12 volt supply on board the caravan. To warm the water on gas and to boost the water system when you're showering on board the caravan, even if you have mains power coming into the van, you need to spin this outer grey dial to the flame symbol, and the green light is your pilot light for when the water system is ignited on gas. If it fails to ignite on gas, you'll get a red light appear in the back of here, which it will do in a moment because the gas is currently turned off. And you will also need to make sure that cover is off on the outside of the van. To control the water temperature on gas, you've got the option of having it between 30 and 70 degrees of water temperature, whereas on electric, it's a preset temperature around 35 to 40 degrees. You'll select the water temperature you want it to be, and that will help boost the water system when you're showering, but also when you're off grid, it'll be your hot water supply from the gas. So that is your heating, your hot water on electric and gas. We're now going to come over to the controls for the mains heating on board the caravan. So this is your heater just down here on the floor. To operate it on mains power, you need to have this switch on here. And then you've got the dial above that has 500, 1000 or 2000 down the side. This is the amount of watts that is coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. And the only way you'll know what to set this to is by asking the site's office when you arrive on your holiday. For instance, if the site had 500 watts available, you'll spin this outer grey dial around to where it says 500 and the green light will appear. You can then control the temperature of the heater on electric on this dial in the centre. The higher you go, the hotter the heater will get. To turn the electric back off, you spin it back to the off position just here. You can also run this heater on gas. You'll spin the gas dial round on the left hand side of the top heater between 10 and 9, hold down the gas valve, and when it ignites on gas you'll have a pilot light in this window down the front here. You should just about to be able to see the spark in there from where it's trying to ignite. That'll be where you see your pilot light. Once it's ignited, you'll hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release the valve and control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top. You can run the heating on gas or electric, or as a combination of the two, but you can also use it with blown air heating, a bit like you have in your car. So that's what these two white vents are for, just below the drawers at the front there, on either side. So to operate the fans on blown air, you'll put this little switch here across to the wave symbol, and then you control your fan speed on the dial on top here. So the more air you want to blow around the van, the higher you'll have this number. If the dot is in the centre, the heat will come straight out the front of the heater. And if you want to have the fans on automatic blown air, so it cuts in and out with the thermostat on board the caravan, you can have it on the A on the right hand side. That will then allow the fans to kick in and out with the thermostat. So as it warms up, the fans will cut out. As it cools down, the fans will kick back in. Again, back in the centre, it will allow the heat out the front of the heater. Next thing we go to is the fridge. The fridge is very simple to use. You've got 3 different power sources. So you've got off at the top here. You've got 240 mains when you connect it to a mains powered site. And you control the temperature of the fridge on the dial on the right hand side. The higher you go with this valve into the thicker end of the line, the colder the fridge will be. 12 volt mode is for when you're towing down the road, so you can use the fridge as a cool box. So it'll only work when you're connected to the car. It will not work off the 12 volt supply on board the caravan. The fridge will only work as a cool box when you're towing, like I said, when you connect to the car, but you would need to be connected to the car, and you would have the main control panel inside the door turned off. You'll have no temperature control when you're on 12 volt mode, as it is just a cool box, and it's just there to keep the beer and wine nice and cold. Spin the dial to the bottom and you've got your option to run gas. So to ignite it on gas, you'll press in the temperature control and hit the igniter at the same time. Once the fridge is ignited on gas, you'll continue to hold your finger on the gas valve or the temperature control on the right hand side of the fridge. But you'll also notice the little red line in this window on the top left hand side of the fridge will come round into the green. So that red line has to be in the green for it to be ignited. Like I said, once that line is there, you'll hold in the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds, then slowly release the valve. I would advise just after 5 to 10 seconds, again, you just check to make sure it is still ignited. You can then control the heater, again, the fridge, on the dial on the right hand side. Again, the higher you go with that level, the colder the fridge will be. Hob, grill and oven, all work very much the same as your household appliances, no difference at all there. Microwave, again, works like a household microwave. As you can see, turn it on and it starts cooking as it needs to. The last thing we go through on this particular caravan is the toilet system in the bathroom. The toilet has an electric flush on top, so you can press the flush button to flush your toilet. You have a red indicator light to let you know when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. If that illuminates red, then you will need to empty that cassette. The toilet seat itself turns for your convenience, as you can see. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the van, it needs to be back in the central position. Below the toilet, you have a grey waste handle. This grey waste handle needs to be in the open position when you're using the toilet. And when you finish with it, do advise you put it back in the central position so no smells come back up inside the van. You will also need to make sure this grey handle's in the central position when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from underneath the van, as it will potentially damage the waste cassette if it is open. That is even if you can get it out with it open at all. So this is a Bailey Pegasus 462. If you have any further questions on the van, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect the caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.